Okay, so here are the two atria. This is the right atrium, or the right auricle containing the right atrium. So this major blue blood vessel that's dumping in here, and the one that's coming from the bottom and dumping in here, also in the right atrium, these are the caudal vena cava, or you can call them posterior vena cava. And this is the cranial one that's all broken, but okay? So the caudal one is going to extend all the way down. So you can see it running right along, all the way down. And it's going to bring all the blood back and dump it into the right atrium. Then the right atrium contracts or dumps the blood into the right ventricle. From the right ventricle, we're going to go through to, see this blue one right here? That is going to be your pulmonary trunk. And don't worry about finding the pulmonary veins, because they will just eventually go to the lungs and they break up. So don't worry about finding the pulmonary veins. But here's the pulmonary trunk. The oxygen exchange happens, or the gas exchange happens, comes back into the right atrium dumps it into the right ventricle, ventricle contracts, and out we come out of this pink one. The pink one is called the aortic arch. Or you can also call it the ascending aorta. Okay? Now, off of the ascending aorta, it should be symmetrical. You would think, you can see like how this is symmetrical with this one. Here's one that's symmetrical with this one, and it is fairly symmetrical. The only difference is these two come down to meet the aortic arch. These two meet each other before they meet the aortic arch. And that little part where they meet is called the brachiocephalic trunk. Because part of it's going to go to the arm, brachio, part of it's going to go to the head, cephalic. Okay? Brachiocephalic trunk. Other than that little meeting right there, that should be exactly symmetrical with this side. From here, you're going to have the one going up to the head. On the fish, which one was the one that came up to the head? Carotid. So here you're going to have common carotid. This happens to be the right common carotid. What was the one that went through the pectoral fin? Subclavian. So here is going to be the subclavian, the other pectoral appendage, right? Now off of the subclavian, you're going to get a couple of branches. First one, actually there are two that kind of come off of the same general area, but one comes out towards you, and the other one's going to go down and away from you. Okay? The one that's coming out towards you is going to insert, and there's the rest of it right there, into the internal wall of the thoracic cavity. This one still has it fairly intact, although it's about to break. So this one they call the internal thoracic artery. Okay, so this one's just the stub left. The one going down and away from you behind it, you'll feel a rib that you broke kind of in the way. You can feel bone. That's going to be the costocervical artery. Okay? So one coming towards you, one going away. The next branch off of the subclavian is going to kind of almost, that's yours, it's going to kind of want to hide behind the carotid. It's going to want to go back behind the carotid. And it's going to go to the vertebrae, so they call it the vertebral. And this one's a very tiny one. Do you guys see this little tiny one going back behind the trachea? Right there. So that is the vertebral. Then the subclavian ends where you see the split. Okay? So once it branches off into two different ones, it is no longer subclavian. The two branches have their own names. The one on the top is called the superficial cervical artery. The next one down, the one going towards the bottom, is the axillary. Okay, so
wait, can you say that again?
Yeah. So the one where the subclavian ends, you get a branching. The top branch goes to the superficial cervical artery. The one on the bottom is the axillary artery. Then the axillary will eventually, you can stick your probe through, goes out the body wall. You can see a little bit of down in there between the pectoralis muscle, right? And then it will split also. And the axillary will split into two parts. One part, you can only really see the vein here because the artery, I guess, is kind of stuck underneath it. But this is going to the outside of the thoracic cavity, so they call it the lateral thoracic artery. Okay? The other part, the other branch, will eventually go all the way to the arm. And you guys have seen this one before. This is called the brachialis artery. And I told you to look for a muscle underneath it. Any memories of what the muscle is underneath? Coracobrachialis. So this is the brachialis artery, or brachial artery. Okay? So that is the top part. And again, you should be able to find all the same stuff on the right side. Except for the brachiocephalic trunk.